everybody. I want to say welcome to another great opportunity for us to go over another edition of the flight plan. You know, the past couple of weeks have been pretty stressful around here in Houston. We had a pretty cool, intense a little hurricane come through. We're still without power, but I wanted to put this together so that every day is a reminder that we have to stay focused, very intentional about the things that we're doing. And I thought this could be something that we can work on this week to kind of finish out the rest of the year. We've talked about the second half. We talked about the goals, the creation of our goals. Are we meeting our personal standard operating procedures and the things that we want to do every day? And I feel like the way to do that is with putting the right things in our schedule. You know, they say if it's not in your schedule, it doesn't exist. And I'm a firm believer in those types of things. But, you know, the flight plan daily schedule. This is something that you got to have in place. You know, you don't have to work 70 hours a week to be successful, but you do have to have the right information in your calendar that will give you the highest level of opportunity to achieve those things of success. I started working on this thing, the flight plan daily schedule, and I'm happy to share this with you. It's some great examples of things that you can put into your schedule that will help you fill it all out, the way to do it at a high level. You know, do you have recurring appointments? We've talked about putting lead generation activities in your schedule instead of it being just hey, I'm going to put in 9 to 11 lead generation. Well, let's be more specific to those types of things. It's very important for us to talk about exactly what we want to do, whether it's 15-minute increments or a solid 1 hour or 2 hour increments. Creating the recurring appointment is super schedule. I would say that the single biggest reason most agents fail boils down to one word, and it's distractions. And we have to be able to block off that time. Time blocking is extremely critical and crucial, and you have to have a very severe focus on the success levels here. So for me, it's the ADD, just like in most agents. This is what keeps us from really achieving success at high levels. We have those distractions that come into play. And I'm going to talk about some of that here in a little bit as well. The difference between agents who are closing 20 transactions to 100 transactions a year really all boils down to what do they have in their schedule on a daily basis. Obviously, there's some financial sides to all that too, and what they can commit to the different types of lead generation activities. However, the intention is to put things in your calendar so that they will exist and those tasks become very, very valuable for you. We want to develop habits that force you to be successful. You know, imagine knowing in the back of your head what you're going to do every day. Imagine being able to look at the end of the day and take, 30 to 45 minutes to really recalibrate the following day. Is the timelines that are in there set up for you for that success? Or they put into a spot where you know immediately that your day for the next 24 hours is all dialed in? We also want to learn how to leverage our systems. We want to make sure that we're putting the right people in place and the right opportunities for us to be successful. So only by fully understanding our current habits and daily routines can we successfully implement the changes necessary to ensure future success. And I'm going to reread that because I wrote it down. This was at a conference. It said, only by fully understanding our current habits and daily routines can we successfully implement the changes necessary to ensure future success. If you want to change your results, you must change your actions, and more specifically, your routines and your habits. I show up to work every day. I take a lot of pride knowing that every day I'm going to go to work. My day is full. I know that from the time I get to the office until the time I leave at the end of the day, I have a very full day. I get a lot done, but I could be more productive if I really dialed in my schedule. One of the things that I would suggest doing is over the course of the next 2 weeks is really track what you're doing each day, each hour for the next 2 weeks. If you just kind of block it off, either create some type of a sheet, print out some stuff from an Excel sheet with some slots open, and just write, what did you do from 8 to 9? What did you do from 9 to 10? What did you do from 11 to 12? Track all of that stuff. And if you've got dials in those hours that you want to track, track how many calls that you made, how many people actually answered the phone. It's small actions like this that are going to deliver the highest levels of success. And here's a challenge task. It'll be easier than you think it is. Over the next 2 weeks, we're going to track each day. But one of the questions I have is, why is it important to follow a perfect daily schedule? Why is it important to you to come up with a real estate success schedule? And this is something that we'll figure out by tracking the next 2 weeks, which will become the previous 2 weeks. Then we'll know what we did right, what we did wrong, and what we can change. Today, if you could just kind of pick out one thing, what would be the benefit to you if you had a great schedule, a success daily schedule? What would that look like for you? What is the cost of non-completion? If you put all this in place and you don't do it, obviously the cost is a lack of sales. It's a lack of commissions. Remember, everything that you're doing today is something that you'll get paid on 90 to 120 days from now. And the challenge runs into is that we do all these things and we think, well, man, did that really work? I did it, but I'm not sure I created some level of success through it all. But just know that what you're doing today, you have the highest level of being paid on today's activities in 90 to 120 days. So you can look to see what you're getting paid today, look back 3 to 4 months and say, was I doing the right real estate activities, and was my calendar dialed in appropriately to get me to that spot? And I would challenge you to say it probably wasn't. You probably didn't have enough set up in there. So what are we going to do over the next 2 weeks? We're going to use Google or some type of a calendar, whether it's an Excel spreadsheet or a calendar. Let's track it. I know one of my real estate coaches one point in time was telling me about color coding, how important it was to color code. What hat are you wearing during that particular hour? Even have a hat for family time, and know that, if I'm going to put something in my calendar that is very specific to family time, block it, protect it. Don't let anything come between you and that. Lead generation. For me, lead generation was always a green color because it was always, I'm doing that in order to make money. Come up with your favorite color for your family. Green can be lead generation. If you're going to do something that's coordinating follow-up, maybe you go from green to blue. Blue is follow-up. Maybe you've got appointments are all dialed in an orange or a red even, or whatever color. Know that, because those are critical. They're hot. They're things that are happening right now, those appointments, and that's why you want to do that. So keep a color code on that, and so that you know when you're quickly looking at it, what mental picture to take when you're looking at your calendar and going, okay, I've got personal time, I've got work time, and I've got them all dialed in accordingly to how the level of importance they are. So I promise you this, if you had scheduled an appointment with a client, you'll protect it. Whether it's a buyer client or a listing client, you're never late and you won't miss that appointment. You need to take the same type of priority with your family, the same type of priority with lead generation and lead follow-up, because you're never going to miss an appointment unless they cancel on you, but you never miss appointments. So you need to treat these with the highest priority as actually meeting a client, because this is the opportunity for you to finish this task so that you can create those levels of appointments. So let's keep this simple. Over the course of the next week or two, while you're tracking all this stuff, let's update every hour. At the end of every hour, just tell your phone, hey, remind me in an hour to reset my task. Let me know what I've done and what I haven't done. Create those updates. I promise you'll appreciate yourself for that. And then at the end of the day, just create a reminder that says review for tomorrow's schedule. That has to be on your calendar. At some point in time, you need to take 15 to 20 minutes just to mentally prepare yourself for the thing. So if there's something in there you might have forgotten, you can re-lock into it and know that you're getting it done. So let's customize the schedule and our priorities. First, let's look through the list, and we're going to add some missing items that you feel are priorities in your life. And then we're going to go through these and we're going to talk about them. Family time, family night. Do you have one night a week that's specific to a certain meal? Is it pizza night? Is it steak night? Is it movie in a pizza night? Those things need to be in your calendar. And you always think, well, I'll pick up on it, but you'll be surprised how often time will get away from you. You realize, man, I haven't actually had a date night in a while. Do you have time for church? Make sure, if you're a believer and you want to make sure that that's in there, don't just automatically assume that you're going to be at 9:30 services. Put it in your calendar so that nothing else will take its place. That has to have a priority as well. If you're one of those guys that like to work out, I'm not, make sure your gym time is on your calendar. You need to make sure that that's ready. prospecting is lead generation. That's a huge thing. You need to make sure that takes up a good portion of your day, at least 2 to 3 hours. I mean, a lot of people recommend 3 hours for lead generation. I mean, you need to do at least 2, no matter what. You need to have some time for appointments. A while back, and I've gotten away from this, and this was a great suggestion, is that when I was presenting offers for my clients, I would always say the best days to close are Wednesdays and Thursdays. And they would say, well, why is that? I believe the best day to close on a real estate property, or to schedule a closing, is a Wednesday or Thursday, so that if you run into some type of a trouble, if you're on Wednesday, you can move it to Thursday. If you've got something on Thursday and there's a hiccup and it closes early Friday morning, you can still fund that day so that your clients can move into their properties over the course of the weekend. The last thing you want to do is schedule a closing for 4 p.m. Friday, and for some reason that the lender doesn't fund the loan, or the funds wire gets messed up, the house isn't funded, and that's typically when they have access to the properties. So Wednesdays and Thursday afternoons were typically when we were scheduling our closings, and it worked out perfectly because I knew that Mondays I didn't close properties. Mondays and Tuesdays I could prep for it, kind of create that final little deal to make sure everything was going to be okay. Wednesday or Thursday closed, and the clients had the weekend to do that. So I always knew that in that time period of my appointments, I had buyer appointments, seller appointments, showing appointments, whatever that may be. I always knew that that was in the afternoons because my mornings were for prospecting. Meals are super important. I know that we just kind of wait to our stomachs to tell us when we're hungry, but imagine if you could actually put in your calendar that you're going to eat breakfast at a certain time, and that you're going to have lunch at a certain time, and you're going to try to have your dinner within a certain time. These are exactly things that we need to be working on so that our bodies will work better. Admin time. If you're a solo agent, putting admin time into your calendar is huge. Knowing that you're going to do your transactions between a specific time and an ending time, that will give you a lot of focus on making sure that you need to do that. Remember, I was always told this, and I still believe it today: no one has died selling real estate. Unless you're on a time crunched, extreme deadline, there's no reason to leapfrog that admin time if you're just getting your paperwork and stuff dialed in. That can be handled at any given time where those slots are available for you. Checking emails, returning voicemails, that has to be done at a specific time. I know a friend of mine always put a putting out fires time. Like, he was only a fireman, and it was kind of funny. His title was fireman, and he would allot 30 minutes every single day to be a fireman, because that was like, if there's anything going on, he had those 30 minutes to put it out. And if somebody said, hey, I've got a problem, something's coming up, he'd go, hey, listen, I'll get it 4:30, I'll get right on it, and I'll have that done by the end of the day today. So 4:30 was his fireman time slot, and I thought that was also a pretty cool thing. Social media. Do you time block your social media, or do you just let that fall into place? I think time blocking social media can be extremely important for that, without just, because you can get lost or drained into it. Recreation time, me time, vacation time, all of these things are important to do. If you're going to create a time for a vacation, those date slots, go ahead and put them in your calendar. Even if over the course of the next 12 to 24 months that you want to take a vacation, go ahead and put that in your calendar. Go pre-plan all that. Go book a cruise, book a trip, do whatever you need to do, and reward yourself for all this great work that you're doing. Reward yourself with those vacations. I think it's really important. How much sleep do you get? Are you going to bed at the same time every night? Do you have kids to pick up from school at a specific time? Make sure all of these things are dialed into your calendar. And I promise you, once you get into these routines, it'll become a day-by-day thing, and you'll get caught up in it, and things will become so much easier for you because you know exactly what you're going to do without letting these distractions come in. So two things that I want you to do. Number one, I want you to really think about the recurring deals, everything that's going to happen at the same time every single day, and let's create the repetitiveness to that. I think it's important to be able to do that. The recurring appointments are super important. And then second thing is protect those time blocks. If there is a catastrophe and an emergency that you need to do something a little bit different, remember, whatever you cancel, you must replace. And so if you've got everything already all dialed in, where are those openings going to be? And if you miss 2 hours of lead generation timelines, and during that 2 hours of lead generation that you could have spoken to 25 to 50 people, whether it's big broad broadcasts on social media or emails, those are things that don't get done that somehow need to get picked back up upon. And just remember, eating right, continue to eat right. That has to be in your calendar, knowing that the junk and the snacks are going to be eliminated. Here are the biggest time wasters and distractions for me, and I'm sure they're going to be for you as well. Social media, number one. Social media is a huge time waster for me. However, it's also a time producer, so I want to make sure that I allow the right amount of time for social media, not just all of the junk stuff. Don't get caught up in all of the things that aren't going to promote you and your real estate business. Inbound calls. You don't always have to take an inbound call. So if you set your phone on airplane mode while you are working, or turn your volume all the way down, airplane mode won't always see who's called. So some people like to just turn their volume all the way down where it doesn't even vibrate, or they'll set their phone in a drawer for 2 hours. Text messages are also a big distraction. You know, somebody might send you a text and then you just feel the need that you've immediately got to respond to that because it's a simple question. So I'm going to take the simple answer and respond to it. Don't do it. Wait and do text messages at specific time slots every day. Same thing for email. Here at the office, we have a lot of drop-in visitors. I love helping people. However, I'm going to start letting people know that my open time slots are going to be where my afternoon appointments are. And that's where if I'm in the office and somebody wants to talk to me and I don't have an open appointment, or a scheduled appointment, they can pop in and create that drop-in. But if I've got an appointment, I'm out of the office, or I'm actually in a conference room where somebody would know that I'm not to be disturbed. Daydreaming is huge for me. It's like all of a sudden you start thinking about all the different stuff that comes in, and this is a prime example of something that just happened to me. I got an email about a notification for my homeowner's insurance that's going to renew September 24th. That's over 2 months away, and I immediately went into, well, gosh, I guess I need to shop my homeowner's insurance, and so I started pulling up all these websites and started asking for something. That was a distraction. That should not have happened. I should push that down a little bit further down the road, and I need to have a timeline on my calendar that says, hey, time to renew your homeowner's insurance. Take 30 minutes or an hour, shop policies, reshop all of your insurance. And it would be great if you could do that one time on an annual basis with your insurance agent. So remember, you want to take advice on your schedule from somebody who's been there and done it before. Ask for those types of things. Somebody that can help you with it. Find somebody that will guide you through it. Ask them what they think about your schedule. Make sure that it has the right amount of real estate, the right amount of business, family, and fun into your schedule. And just talk to somebody about it and ask them if you think that this is a right deal. Here are some things that I feel are the best practices between 8 and 12. Obviously, you want prospecting and lead generation. You're calling anybody that you feel like could be important to you. I would start practicing on expires, on for sale by owners. There are some things there that you know are ready, willing, and able sellers because they've already had their home in the market. I would say an hour a day in your sphere of influence, no matter what, whether it's 5 or 10 people, just reach out to people and say hi. Calling your SOI in the morning is super, super important. And if they don't answer the phone, send them a quick text message to say, hey, listen, it wasn't important. I just wanted to say hi and see how you and your family are doing. Early morning, especially in summer here in Houston, go door knock your farm. Go put on a t-shirt or some type of a shirt that says I sell real estate, and then go get our listing prospecting boxes from LPT. They're amazing. And just go hang on some doors and go door knock and say hi. Also before noon, any kind of follow-up calls that might have happened from the night before, those are appropriate. And ask people what are the best lead generating activities that people have done, what their favorite things to do are. Go find what others are doing and see if it matches your personality, if it's something that you can do. Most people know that I love diving into my database. I love talking to people that are already know me, or people that I'm getting introduced to on social media. So if you would like our Eagle Nexus flight plan daily schedule for success, I'm happy to send you this PDF. I appreciate all the people paying attention to some of these things. It's nothing special. It's just me sharing the things that I've done at a high level and the things that I've done at a poor level and what I always want to continue to work on to build my business. I know that we're in this together. We're flying together, and we're going to make some mistakes. We're going to crash and hit some walls, but when we do, we want to flap those wings and get back in the air again and start flying. So hope you guys have a great day. If there's anything I can do for you on helping you with your daily schedule, let's go create some amazing success with the great success stories that we have and we can build through our daily schedule. Have a great day.